the fire department, Nesconset Fire Department issue, again, I think there's something to talk about in executive session with respect to that.
What would that be?
My conversation I had with the architect, who, well, basically they're putting a plan in, and he had some issues that he spoke to me about.
We still need to do an appraisal no matter what, whether the architect agrees or not. We've all decided that we want to do the right thing for the fire department. We need to do an appraisal to find out the value of that land.
My sense would be, and this is up with the board, but I don't understand the sense of urgency to have this done. In my speaking with the architect, there's a possibility, and that's of some things that happen with the owner of the property. I think it would be best to talk about an executive session, because if you think about it, it's been sitting there for so long, and now to rush through this, which might not be necessary to even have an appraisal done, it might make sense to talk about.
You're going to need an appraisal whether we buy it or it's gifted. No matter what, you need an appraisal, because you have to come up with a basis for IRS tax laws. Either way, you need an appraisal. And it doesn't hurt us getting an appraisal so we know where we're at. Why slow the project down?
I would just think we should just briefly talk about executive session.
I'm not saying not to talk about it, but why should we slow it down? If we just get the appraisal, we have it. That we don't need it no matter what. It needs to be as part of the record.
I don't think you'll need an appraisal if they're willing to gift the property to the town. That would be his responsibility to set the basis.
From my understanding is that they're not willing to gift the property to the town.
Well, wait, Mr. McCarthy, why don't we hear what he has to say in executive session? And also,
I don't really think it is executive session.
But let me just clarify. You started the conversation by saying that this concept fire department, we're not doing it for the fire, we're doing it for traffic and safety.
A combination of both, yeah.
It's a combination.
It's making the intersection a safe intersection. The intersection is a disaster.
Okay.
It's a very unsafe intersection, and it helps the fire department out with us fixing it at the same time.
When you reference an architect, whose architect are we talking? Theirs or ours?
Yes.
The owner's?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's the one who's putting the plan together.
Okay.
I don't think the urgency is there, and I had a conversation with the architect for the property owner, and I would like to just present that to the board in executive session. But this intersection's been like this for forever, and now I think we're moving a little bit too quickly.
Well, your letters that you sent out basically show that the Nesconset Fire Department felt it was pretty urgent to get it done because they have to travel in one direction to another, and it's cutting down their response time. So that is an emergency.
I'm not disagreeing with you. My point is, some things in executive session I thought we could talk about, and then the board will decide if they want the information that I spoke to Mr. Cataldo about, and then.
I don't think it's executive session, personally.
Well,
he's talking to an architect about a project that we want to do for the safety of the fire department and the residents.
Except that, wait, look, can I try to be
sure,
except that he may be privy to information that is executive session matter, and I think you're saying that.
There's 2 points here. One is I spoke to Mr. Cataldo, and he threw a number out to me that I wanted to bring to the board's attention, which would require, if we're looking to purchase it, do an appraisal. But in speaking to Mr. Cataldo, and this is not executive session, they're working on submitting a plan. I spoke to Dave Flynn about this, and they're going to submit a plan. So I think it's premature until they put a plan in, because we're not really sure what piece of property we're going to be appraising. We have to get a description of the property. I'm saying to you, with all due respect, Councilman McCarthy, it's all of a sudden it's a sense of urgency to this, which has been over the last month and a half. I think that
because it sat around for 2 years and the town board didn't know about it for 2 years, that it sat there, and now everybody says it sat for 2 years since 2011. It's been sitting, and we didn't even know about it. No one
to get the piece of property they're going to donate survey. That's one part of it. What I'm saying to you, it hasn't sat around for 2 years. Vincent Pulio with the Nesconset Fire Department made some inquiry. They met with the plan department, and Peter Hans came up with some plans.
Putting it on, we don't say what they want to do. It has descriptions of the square footage. It has everything.
I'm not having to have an appraisal done. And if I can have an opportunity in executive session to talk about that, and I'm saying is, I don't understand the sense of urgency to have the appraisal done. It might not be necessary at all, because with respect to the basis of the property, if the gentleman donates the property to the town after his plan is submitted, then it's his responsibility to put a value on that, not ours.
What I'm saying is, I am not adverse to going into executive session for whatever information you have that falls into that category. And at the end of that executive session,
hopefully we have a decision.
Hopefully we'll have an action to be taken.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's okay?
Seems to be a reasonable way to do it. That's what we should do.
I just don't want to be in executive sessions on things we shouldn't be, that's all.